Nigerians must work together towards achieving this and indeed a peaceful transition process. He said the sacrifices, patriotism and peaceful struggles of such heroes should guide their actions when it comes to electing leaders and holding them accountable.
I followed the party primaries closely from the state level to the presidential level. I was very impressed to see across all the political parties that those who won were magnanimous in their victories. Those who lost were gracious in defeat, and those aggrieved opted to seek judicial justice as opposed to jungle justice. We must sustain this mature attitude to campaigning and ultimately voting. We must never see it as a do or die affair.
In the last 7 years, President Buhari explained that the governing APC has made significant investments towards reforming and enhancing the nation's electoral laws, systems and processes to safeguard the votes of the electorate. He said both the executive, legislature and judiciary are committed towards ensuring that the reforms are fully implemented in the next general elections.
Your right to choose your government will be preserved and protected. I will therefore take this opportunity to ask all candidates to continue running issue-focused campaigns and to treat opponents with dignity. As leaders, you must all showcase high character and never forget that the world is watching us and Africa looks up to Nigeria to provide example in governance.
And on the concerns by many Nigerians over insecurity occasioned by terrorist activities in parts of the country, the president assured them that the government is working hard towards finding lasting solutions, saying, however, that a safe country can only be achieved if the citizens support and cooperate with security agencies in crime prevention.
I am living daily with the grief and worry for all those victims and prisoners of terrorism and kidnapping. For those who have lost their lives, we will continue to seek justice for their families against the perpetrators. For those currently in captivity, we will not stop until they are freed and their kidnappers are brought to justice. I will conclude this Democracy Day speech, my last as president, by assuring you of my commitment to protect Nigeria and the Nigerians from all enemies from within and outside.
June 12 Democracy Day is set aside to not only celebrate freedom and unity of the country, but also the resolve by Nigerians to protect and preserve the nation's democratic ideals. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Still in the mood of the June 12 Democracy Day celebration, let's cross over now to our Lagos Center, where Adeniyi Taiwo is standing by there with some Nigerians who were involved in the struggle of the June 12, 1993 presidential election to give us an update on the convergence of these people to commemorate this day. Over to you, Adeniyi. Can you tell us what the mood is like at the moment? Moments ago when we conversed, you told us that people were beginning to converge on the residence of the late MKO Abiola.
Ayodeji, just like I told you in the morning, eminent Nigerians, pro-democracy activists are gathering here, and as I speak, you can see behind me they are still putting finishing touches, to ensuring that the program commences. I have, standing by to talk to me, an eminent lawyer and a human rights activist too, talking about Mike Ozekome, SAN, and shortly will be joining me to talk about. Will be joining me to talk about, what this gathering, is actually about. In a short while, like I said, he will be joining me for this conversation. But like I hinted earlier on in the day, this is about Nigerians coming together to honor the memories of late MKO Abiola. It is about Nigerians coming together to discuss June 12, what it stood for. That mandate that was really given by Nigerians, to the late MKO Abiola, and which was annulled anyway, and what lessons that Nigeria and Nigerians can draw from it, especially as we prepare, for another general election, which is coming up. Here, as we speak, we have not just eminent Nigerians who are converging. We are also having the family, the children of the late Chief MKO Abiola, who are gathered there just to talk about the man and what his death his martyrdom means for Nigeria, and the politics, the political landscape of Nigeria, and so on and so forth. We expect that here today there will be lectures. Here today there will be tribute paid to his memory. Here today there will be flowers, wreath being laid in his honor. If my guest, Mr. Mike Uzekome, can now join me, I think I will appreciate that. But while I'm still waiting for him, because I can see he's tied up with something, perhaps Ayode, you have something that you still want to ask me while we're waiting for him?
Yes, surely. Adeni, we saw the president in his Democracy Day broadcast to the nation, where he highlighted some of the challenges and, of course, things to look forward to in the post-2023 when he would leave office. How does this day bring back memories and also lay the foundation for a better, prosperous and a secure nation?
You have to come back with that. I didn't really catch it.
Right, we heard the president in his broadcast to the nation. How does June 12 help set Nigeria on the pathway to prosperity?
I'm sure that most of the people who converge here will agree with Mr. President that the spirit behind June 12, it's all about developing democracy in Nigeria to the point that we can have an environment where all can thrive. So I have with me now the Mr. Mike Uzekome, senior advocate of Nigeria. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. This is about June 12, the lessons and so on and so forth. But while while element guests like yourself are gathering, can you give us a sense of what Nigerians should expect from this converge?
Yeah, this converge, like converges before it, is proposed to mark June 12 as Nigeria Democracy Day, because it was on that day that Nigeria decided for the first time to seek and grab nationhood, which has always been elusive since the 1st of January 1914, when Lord Lugard amalgamated the Southern Protectorate and Northern Protectorate to found Nigeria. Elusive nationhood that had eluded us since one young lady called Miss Flora Louisa Shaw on the 8th of January 1897 gave the name Nigeria to Nigeria after Niger area. Now, on June 12th, I had argued for more than since 1998, that June 12th ought to be Nigeria Democracy Day and not May 29, which was just a mere ceremonial handover of baton. I had always argued. At the 2014 National Conference, I raised a motion to that effect, which was carried by everyone present. My sterling performance at that conference made the leadership of the conference to name me the Cicero of the 2014 National Conference. On June 12, 1993, Nigerians went to the polls. Northerners, Easterners, Westerners, Southerners. They decided to vote for nationhood. They voted for Chief MKO Abiola against Alhaji Bashir Tofa. Abiola even defeated Bashir Tofa in his Albasa Jadi ward in Kano. So he won across Nigerian barracks, military barracks, police, and amongst the youth, women, and everybody. So, however, Abiola somehow died mysteriously in mysterious circumstances 4 years later after the Ekpeto Day Declaration in 1998. That is why we are marking June 12.
Okay, if I may just butt in, this converge, let me take you back. What should Nigerians be expecting from this converge in brief, sir?
Briefly, what we should be expecting from this converge is to show how and the way and manner we can solidify democracy, strengthen it, deepen it, and widen its amplitude and plenitude for national development, what late Dr. Keum, by the way, we call national resurgimento.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ayodeji, as you can see, the program is about taking off now. I'll be standing by to give you more. It's over to you now, Ayodeji, in the studio.
Surely we appreciate you, Adeniyi Taiwo, in our Lagos Center there. And of course, I'm talking about commemorating June 12, and also with those who were involved in the struggle for the 1993 election are converging to proper ways for a better Nigeria. Panorama takes a break now, and we cross over from Abuja to our Jos Network Center. And of course, Felicia will be our guide there.
Welcome to Jos. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has felicitated with Nigerians on the occasion of the 4th Democracy Day celebration since President Muhammadu Buhari made the change from May 29th to June 12th. A statement by Senator Lawan observed that June 12 represents a milestone in Nigeria's journey to entrench a democratic polity. He said the National Assembly will always be alive to its duties, as it did in the recent passage of the Electoral Reform Bill, now referred to as Electoral Act 2022, and enjoined all Nigerians, especially politicians, to work towards the success of the 2023 general elections. APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians from all works of life and all parts of the country to unite and build a more industrious, peaceful society for a greater future. In a message to mark 2022 democracy, the APC presidential candidate emphasized the need to celebrate democracy and commemorate those who have sacrificed so much to establish this noble form of governance in Nigeria. He said Democracy Day holds a special meaning, being an ardent supporter of MKO Abiola and had entered politics, hoping to change the face of this nation for permanent good. Tinubu said this year's Democracy Day holds even greater significance as the nation just concluded fair, transparent, and open primaries by political parties. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu said he will dedicate his upcoming campaign to the spirit of June 12 and what it best symbolizes for today's Nigeria. As Nigerians celebrate 23 years of uninterrupted democracy, key players are calling for reorientation towards keeping democratic ideals in the country. Ndenyang and Deabagyang reports.
The inception of the Fourth Republic on 29th May 1999 marked a watershed in the history of the democratic journey of Nigeria after the handover to civilian rule coming from several decades of military rule. Since 1966, with a brief period of democracy between 1979 to 1983. The inauguration of President Olusegun Obasanjo, a democratically elected president, public affairs analysts say, paved way for continuous civil rule in the country as the legitimacy of government and governance came through the will of the electorate.
The military handed over to a civilian administration, and Obasanjo took over. And you saw the speed at which many things were done democratically.
To be able to create an environment where if you assess the electoral management body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, from where it is coming from, then you can also see some positives as far as this process is concerned.
They further note that the democratic era has also ensured return to civil liberties and infrastructure development.
There's freedom of speech in a democracy. There's huge capital outlay in terms of infrastructure. there's no sector of this of the economy that has not been affected positively.
There's no that we have seen progress. Number of universities have increased. Railway that has been dormant, some have been put back to work. Wouldn't you say that these are progress? Second, Niger Bridge is being built. The other aspects of Nigerians that run away out of this country were also able to come back. It has brought about some sense of freedom, among the citizens.
Despite the progress made, they pointed out a number of challenges which have had profound impact on the socio-economic and political development of Nigeria.
We have challenges, pockets of challenges in terms of insecurity, but it is not insurmountable.
Nigeria's democracy, they emphasize, needs the strengthening of institutions with strong legal frameworks and value reorientation.
Institutions that will, at the end of the day, ensure that without actually getting people who would want to manipulate the system, the institutions will be able to stand the test of time.
We need to have a change of attitude. Look at the provision of the law and how we can come in as electorates and how we want our leaders to render services for the development of this country.
With the consolidation of democratic ideals and in recognition of June 12 in the annals of Nigeria's history, the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2018 declared June 12 as Democracy Day from the initial official date of May 29th. This is in recognition of the election of Moshood Abiola, adjudged to be the fairest and freest election in the country. In Jos, Indenyan and the Abuja, NTA News.
We have in the studio Head of Department, Political Science, University of Jos, Dr. Major Adeyi. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you, and happy Democracy Day.
Glad to have you join us on Panorama. Now, how would you describe the democratic journey so far?
Yeah, it's a journey of progress in our efforts to build a Nigerian nation. Many people have high expectations, knowing that we had a kind of a delay under the military administration, but coming into democracy so far, we discover that there is an increase in level of political consciousness. You may not agree with what government is doing, you may not agree with what citizens are saying, but you have your say. That level of consciousness is a plus for the journey so far. And secondly, the level of participation. We have the women, the children, having a bite in the national cake in whatever degree. You can see the voice of women, you can hear the voice of the youth also taking active part. And apart from that, we can see that the various levels of government in the federating units are also active players. People will say, well, we are denied this, we are denied that. It's still part of the democracy we are talking about. People recognizing that they are not sleeping, people recognizing that they are part of the nation Nigeria. So far, I think the journey is encouraging. We may not be moving as fast as expected, but we are not stagnated. We are moving.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in your opinion, do Nigerians have reason to celebrate the uninterrupted democracy?
Yeah, the fact that it's uninterrupted is a plus. Because globally now, military administration, military regimes are leprous regimes. So the fact that we are still on, we are learning, we will rise, we will fall, we will grow, we will move. That is how the process grows. So in this process, we have every reason to say, okay, Nigeria, as populous as we are still in a democracy. It would be a shame to say we are under a military rule. So we have every reason to say, well, God, we thank you. That is one aspect. Another reason is that whether we like it or not, the political parties are learning. What we were 1999 is not what we are today. The level of political participation is different. And we can see in this sense that So many identity groups are coming up, so many pressure groups are coming up, and people are forming political parties. At a point, we could not even count the number of parties we have. So the fact that we have the liberty to associate, the liberty to decide who to vote for and how to vote, it's enough for us to say we are okay. But if we were getting it wrong, if you are not comparing our own level of democracy with what is obtainable in US or other advanced countries, we have a long way to go, but we are moving, and definitely we will get there.
Okay, what would you say is the way forward to getting there?
The way forward is for us to have a sense of patriotism. Let us believe that, well, this is our country, and we must all build it together, build Nigerian nation together. Let us also agree that the heroes of the past, our labor should not be in vain. Yes, we are celebrating, recognizing MKO Abiola. He's not the only one. After him, what happens? The military went on. If not for the G34, that we have the likes of Solomon La, we have the likes of Alex Ekweme, Sule Lamido, Rimi Abubakar, Bola Ige. These are people who said, okay, military, you truncated June 12th, enough of your administration. And they rose, and then led to what brought the Abubakar Salami's regime to have an appreciable transition program. So when we look at what they have done, and we know that there's hope for us as a people, we can definitely achieve democracy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I have been interacting with Dr. Major Adeyi, Head of Department Political Science, University of Jos. Thank you once again for finding time to be with us.
Thank you very much.
Let's now join our sports desk for sports updates with Cynthia Ogun.
Ahead of their second group game against Sao Tome and Principe on Monday, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have arrived at Agadir in Morocco, venue for the encounter.